Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of XRP, taking a look at what's been going on most recently and what we would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe. Stay up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Okay, let's jump right down into this one. XRP paired up with USDT on the hourly chart here, and Binance is our data source. And just following on from the previous video, we were expecting it a bit further to the downside. We actually had a really shallow C wave just here. We moved up, but we didn't actually manage to pull back down. We did actually break up above our local high. So we're going to just have to adjust our wave counts just a fraction here to kind of illustrate what on earth is going on when it comes to XRP's price. So as we can see, our A wave comes to here, our B wave comes up there, and our C wave basically creates this little bit lower than A wave, but double bottom kind of scenario. Now, if I draw a little rectangle right about here, yeah, this is a good spot for it. This area here, where we have these wicks, this is where demand is. Okay, this is where a lot of buying pressure is occurring. Let me just write the word demand in there. Okay, so inside this little yellow box, which happens to be between 40.54 and 40.75, this is where a lot of the buyers are, okay? So we can then see that we did rally on up here. We came up 1, 2, and 3, and then we start to come on down. Now, coming down is an interesting structure, okay? So we need to kind of keep an eye on this. I don't think it's anything too drastic, but we'll do our sense checks because we wouldn't be doing our jobs if we didn't. So yeah, we're okay. It's just basically a three-wave corrective structure. It's going to be the easiest way of kind of looking at it without getting too complicated. So we're not meeting the 5-wave requirements, so we'll go ahead and draw that in there like so. Okay, so we have this kind of move to the downside. Now this move to the downside here and this correction going up at the moment, all of this, in fact, up here is basically just a ranging market. We find ourselves with the upper area, okay, which I will mark with another rectangle box right here. So we have this upper area just here, and this is basically 41.82 to 42.04, and this is the supply range. Okay, so what you're basically finding ourselves doing is bouncing between demand and supply. You're ranging between these two areas, okay, and for the most part you're waiting for a break in one of these directions. Okay, so we can see that we were looking for a bit of a lower move to the downside, but if this demand area is holding, then our B wave can be here and our C wave can break to the upside. Okay, now if we take a look at our momentum indicator, we're not really getting the momentum over the weekend that we need to see for this huge break to the upside. I say huge break, but this break out of this ranging market. So it might be a next week kind of job, and we'll have to see how that momentum in the is shifting around on our oscillator here. But essentially, if we take this as an existing low and we kind of keep above this area, then our expectation should be to move out towards 42.90, just up here, okay, and we'll be able to mark that up as a C wave high point. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye on that. I'm actually going to just leave the fibs just over here so we can keep an eye on it. Okay, so we'll end up looking for that to the upside. Now, on our 4-hour chart, we do have the momentum to be able to do this kind of thing. It looks pretty reasonable. Looking at it here, we've got a lot of overlap. It's basically a large ranging market. And there is, of course, that local high point at 43.28. Okay, so we do know that there's that upper limit as well. So if we take a look, we did move down towards our 200 EMA. We're currently finding support on the 50 EMA, so a break upwards is probably the most likely scenario. Based on the 1-hour and 4-hour charts, both indicate that we do have that momentum to the upside on our oscillator, and the wave counts are there, so we're looking for about 42.9, which would be a nice place for XRP to kind of be aiming and targeting for. On our 8-hour chart, though, we are in this large supply range. Okay, we cannot ignore this. We should not ignore it because we are overbought or just coming down from this overbought area on our oscillator. Okay, so our stochastic RSI is telling us that we are expecting a downward price movement. Now, I think we're going to have to move up towards that 42.9 before we move on down, but the point still stands. We are up in the supply range. There's only a matter of time until we either chew through all of the sell orders, right, and we can break upwards from here, or the sellers are just going to basically, you know, meet all the requirements of the demand coming in and basically just drag the price down. Now, it's called a supply zone because there's usually a lot of selling pressure in this range, which usually means you get rejected from here. Now, you can, of course, see that we've consolidated a bit. And that's a positive because it means that you're going to be chewing through a lot of those sell orders and the price is still hovering up here, meaning we might break out of this and just, you know, move the sellers a little bit higher in the charts, right? And so we'll see how that kind of goes. Now, on the daily time frame, we do have some momentum upwards, but we also equally have some momentum to the downside. You can also see that our 200 EMA has been a big resistance for us on this daily chart. Okay, we can see that we've been really fighting with this and struggling to kind of get above that 200 EMA. The 200 EMA at the moment is 41.79. And yeah, for the most part, we can see that we are trapped right inside here with a lot of selling pressure between the ranges of 41.34 and 42.24. Okay. So in these higher ranges here, it's going to get very, very difficult to see XRP push through it until we get past all of those sellers. Until all those sellers' needs are met, as in they've sold and someone has bought it from them, we're not likely to see this turn from a supply zone into a demand zone. And of course, that 200 EMA is going to be a major resistance blocker for XRP as well. Okay, now we are riding the 50 to the upside, and we've got the 200, which is basically being our resistance. Now, let's go ahead and take the stochastic RSI off, throw the volume profiles in, and we can see why we might be looking for a bit of a reversal. Our volumes are decreasing here as we are in this kind of ranging market. To be fair, actually, that's actually a little bit more bullish. I'd be more happy with taking a look at it and thinking to myself, yeah, okay, we're ranging sideways and we're running out of volume. And actually, that's a positive because we have actually consolidated down a little bit in price. And to see the volume dropping whilst we do that, that's actually a positive thing. So, you know, I won't be too negative there. I do think that's actually pretty decent, and we'll take a look and see how that kind of maybe flips around. If we're running out of momentum while going sideways here, maybe the momentum is going to come back in, or the volumes are going to come back in, take us through the supply, and take us a little bit higher. But caution, because it doesn't take too much also to increase the selling pressure here and drag us down a bit more either. Now, from our RSI, we are about, you know, what are we now? 56, just about that midway point. You know, it's not conclusive of either direction, so be cautious with the RSI. Divergence indicator, we do have some bullish divergence in here, so we'll just wait to see if we can actually get this rallied up a little bit, again, break through that supply range as well. So on the daily chart, everything's looking okay. From a weekly standpoint, we can, of course, see that we are getting rejected here on the 50 EMA. And we're also getting rejected on the 200 EMA, with the 50 EMA about to cross lower than the 200 EMA. We are overbought on the weekly time frame, so again, this is actually telling us that we're more than likely going to see a break downwards. And from a wave count point of view, unfortunately, that for XRP does mean new lower lows. I can't see it staying above the existing June low, which was around the 28 cent. If I actually draw a little line on there, 28.72. And chances are we break down lower than that based on the wave counts that are going on in here. I can't see why we would fail to basically come up higher than we were previously. And basically just see ourselves with this high stochastic RSI whilst, you know, having a lower high in price. So just kind of bear that in mind. It's not looking overly positive from that standpoint. We're not perfectly aligned to that, but we'll keep a close eye on it. If we snap to the top here, you can see that there's a potential move in here somewhere. You know, just taking a look at where this trend line would potentially be, somewhere in this kind of range. I would be, yeah, a little cautious here to think that, you know, we are going to be looking at some kind of resistances on a weekly, but our daily is looking good. So we might move up before we move down. This weekly, though, at some point will basically take the price of XRP much lower, in my humble opinion. So be a little bit cautious. I don't think we're done with some of these low prices for the price action of XRP. But ultimately, I'm going to leave the video right there. If you have found it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and you'll stay up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And don't forget to join us down in Discord, linked in the description down below. Until the next one, though, guys, have a fantastic day.